Chapter 1: Awakening to the Hidden Code. Introduction to Human Behavior and Social Intelligence. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to navigate the complexities of human interaction effortlessly, while others struggle to understand even the simplest social cues? Why do certain individuals naturally attract trust, respect, and admiration, while others remain invisible despite their efforts? The truth, as Aristotle once wisely observed, is that knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Understanding the hidden layers of human behavior begins with self-awareness. Before we can master the art of social intelligence, we must first uncover the invisible codes that drive our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. Human behavior is not random. Every smile, every glance, every subtle gesture carries meaning. Yet, most of us operate on autopilot, reacting to the world rather than shaping it. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, reminds us that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This audiobook is not about chasing quick hacks or manipulating others. It is about decoding the patterns that govern human interaction, understanding the psychology of relationships, and developing a level of empathy that transforms how you connect with the world. We will explore how emotions shape behavior and decision-making, the principles of influence and persuasion rooted in psychology and philosophy, the power of empathy and social awareness in building meaningful connections, real-life examples from history, literature, and modern social dynamics, practical habits and systems to strengthen your social intelligence over time. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." The why of understanding human behavior is more than mere curiosity, it is the key to unlocking the potential of every interaction, every relationship, and ultimately this audio life. Allow yourself to question deeply, observe keenly, and reflect honestly. The codes are not hidden from you, they are simply waiting to be discovered. And once you see them, you will never look at human interaction the same way again. Chapter 2: Understanding Emotional Patterns. The heart of human behavior. To truly master social intelligence, we must first understand the emotional patterns that govern human behavior. Emotions are the silent architects of our decisions. They guide our interactions, shape our relationships, and influence the impression we leave on others. As Daniel Goleman, the pioneer of emotional intelligence, teaches us, in a very real sense we have two minds, one that thinks and one that feels. To navigate the social world effectively, we must learn to harmonize these two minds, rational thought and emotional awareness. Every person carries an emotional fingerprint, shaped by their experiences, upbringing, and inner beliefs. Some wear joy openly, while others hide sorrow behind smiles. Carl Jung reminds us, every human life contains a potential. If that potential is not fulfilled, then that life is wasted. Understanding emotions allows us to uncover this potential, both in ourselves and in others. The patterns we see everywhere. Reactions to stress: some people withdraw, others confront. Recognizing these patterns helps you respond, not react. Social mirroring: humans naturally mirror each other's behaviors, a subtle but powerful form of influence. Aristotle observed this centuries ago, man is by nature a social animal. Awareness of these tendencies allows us to foster harmony and trust. Triggers and responses: every emotion has a trigger. By observing triggers, we can anticipate responses, avoid conflict, and guide conversations with empathy. Building emotional awareness. 1. Observation: watch not only what people say, but how they say it, tone, posture, and gestures. 2. Reflection: ask yourself why someone feels a certain way. Look for the underlying need or belief. Respond to emotions, not words alone. The ability to connect emotionally is the cornerstone of influence. Dale Carnegie, author of How to Win Friends and Influence People, once said, "A person's name is to that person the sweetest sound in any language." Simple acts of recognition, empathy, and attention can transform relationships profoundly. Why emotional patterns matter. Understanding emotions is not about manipulation, it is about clarity and insight. Friedrich Nietzsche reminds us, invisible threads are the strongest ties. Emotions are these threads, they bind us, define us, and shape the social landscape around us. By observing emotional patterns, you begin to see the invisible architecture of human behavior. You begin to anticipate needs, recognize intentions, and build connections that endure. This is the foundation of social intelligence, not just knowing others, but understanding them at a profound, empathetic level. Conclusion: your journey to mastery. Congratulations! You have now journeyed through the hidden codes of human behavior, explored the depths of emotional intelligence, discovered the art of influence, learned to build trust, navigate conflict, and cultivate daily systems that elevate your social mastery. By taking the time to engage with these ideas, you have already taken the first step toward transforming your life. Remember, social intelligence is not a destination but a lifelong practice. Every interaction you have is an opportunity to grow, every conversation a chance to understand another human being more deeply. Daniel Goleman reminds us, in a very real sense we have two minds, one that thinks and one that feels. Mastery arises when you harmonize both, using awareness and empathy to guide your actions. By embracing curiosity, compassion, and reflection, you are not just learning, you are evolving. Abraham Maslow, in his work on human motivation, wrote, "What a man can be, he must be." This is your invitation to realize your highest potential, to act with integrity, and to connect authentically with the world around you. Every choice you make, every habit you form, and every system you build reinforces your growth. You are capable, insightful, and resilient. The knowledge you now possess equips you to navigate relationships, inspire others, and leave a meaningful impact on every community you touch. As you move forward, remember the power of small, consistent actions. Social intelligence, emotional mastery, and understanding human behavior are skills cultivated through practice, observation, and reflection. Stephen Covey reminds us, "I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions." So, continue to observe, listen, reflect, and act with empathy. Let every interaction be a step toward mastery, every conversation a seed of trust and understanding. Your journey has begun, and the possibilities are endless. You have done well by investing this time in yourself. You are insightful, capable, and ready to transform your relationships, your social skills, and your life. Chapter 3: The Art of Influence and Social Mastery. Turning understanding into action. Once we understand human emotions, the next step is learning how to translate that understanding into meaningful influence. Influence is not about manipulation or control, it is about guiding interactions with clarity, empathy, and purpose. As Aristotle said in Rhetoric, persuasion is achieved by the speaker's personal character when the speech is so spoken as to make us think him credible. True influence emerges from credibility, empathy, and mastery of social dynamics. Principles of social influence. 1. Reciprocity. People naturally respond in kind to kindness. A simple gesture or acknowledgement can create lasting goodwill. 2. Authority and credibility. When you are knowledgeable and consistent, people trust and follow you. Socrates emphasized the importance of wisdom. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Paradoxically, humility often strengthens influence. 3. Consistency and commitment. People value consistency. Encouraging small, committed actions can lead to larger alignment over time. For empathy and active listening, Carl Jung once wrote, "One looks back with appreciation to the brilliant teachers, but with gratitude to those who touched our human feelings." Listening deeply allows others to feel seen and valued, which naturally enhances your influence. The psychology behind persuasion. Understanding human behavior allows you to anticipate needs, respond effectively, and foster genuine connections. Daniel Goleman emphasizes emotional intelligence as the backbone of social influence. Self-awareness, recognizing your emotions and how they affect your interactions. Self-regulation, maintaining control in high-stress situations. Social skills, navigating conversations, resolving conflicts, and inspiring collaboration. Empathy, feeling and understanding others' emotions. Motivation, leading by example and inspiring action. Practical applications. In the workplace, influence colleagues through empathy, clear communication, and integrity. In friendships, strengthen bonds by understanding emotional triggers and practicing reciprocity. In personal growth, apply influence inwardly, motivate yourself to build habits and systems that align with your long-term goals. Dale Carnegie wisely stated, "You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you." Influence is less about talking and more about observing, understanding, and responding. The ethical dimension. Influence without ethics becomes manipulation. Social mastery is a moral skill. It requires honesty, empathy, and a commitment to the well-being of others. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. B1. True influence emerges from character, not tactics. Chapter 4. Rebuilding deep connections and trust. The core of social intelligence. Understanding human behavior and influence is only part of the journey. True social mastery lies in building deep, meaningful connections, relationships rooted in trust, empathy, and mutual respect. As Confucius wisely said, real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Humility and self-awareness form the foundation of trust. People naturally gravitate toward those who recognize their own limitations and treat others with genuine respect. The pillars of connection. 1. Empathy, feeling what others feel. Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, observed, between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space lies our freedom and power to choose our response. By tuning into that space, we can respond with empathy, not reaction. 2. Active listening, more than hearing words, listening involves observing tone, body language, and emotion. Eric Fromm reminds us, love is the only sane and satisfactory answer to the problem of human existence. Listening deeply is an act of love in social interaction. 3. Consistency and reliability, trust grows from consistent behavior over time. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Demonstrating integrity consistently cements trust. 4. Vulnerability and authenticity, sharing your true self encourages others to do the same. Carl Jung observed, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Authenticity fosters deeper bonds than superficial charm ever could. Social intelligence in action. Personal life, invest in meaningful conversations, celebrate achievements and empathize with struggles. Professional life, build teams based on trust, transparency, and recognition of individual strengths. Community, influence society positively by fostering inclusion, understanding, and dialogue. The ripple effect. When trust is established, influence is amplified. People not only follow your guidance, they internalize your values. Nietzsche said, invisible threads are the strongest ties. Every interaction leaves an imprint, every act of understanding strengthens the network of human connection. Practical habits to build trust. 1. Be present. Show genuine interest in others. 2. Keep promises. Let your actions speak louder than words. 3. Ask questions, not to interrogate, but to understand. 4. Share insights thoughtfully, teach without imposing. 5. Reflect regularly on your interactions and refine your approach. By mastering these pillars, you transform ordinary interactions into profound human experiences. Social intelligence is not a skill to be learned once, it is a lifetime of practice, shaped by awareness, empathy, and ethical conduct. Chapter 5. Navigating conflict and difficult situations. Applying social intelligence under pressure. Even the most emotionally aware and socially skilled individuals encounter conflict. True mastery of social intelligence is revealed not in moments of ease, but in moments of tension and challenge. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Obstacles are not enemies, they are opportunities to demonstrate poise, empathy, and strategic understanding. Understanding conflict dynamics. Conflict often arises from misunderstandings, unmet expectations, or misaligned values. By observing behavior patterns and emotional triggers, you can anticipate reactions and respond with composure. Emotional triggers: recognize what provokes intense reactions in yourself and others. Cognitive biases: understand how personal beliefs and assumptions influence perceptions. Communication gaps: many conflicts are rooted in poor expression or misinterpretation. Tools for social mastery in conflict. 1. Pause and reflect. Before reacting, take a moment to consider the underlying needs and motivations. 2. Active listening. Listen to understand, not to respond. Dale Carnegie advised, be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. 3. Empathic assertion. Express your perspective respectfully while acknowledging the other person's feelings. 4. Seek win-win solutions. Strive for outcomes that preserve relationships while resolving disputes. Philosophical guidance. Socrates: strong minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, weak minds discuss people. Focus on ideas and principles rather than personal attacks. Epictetus: it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your response defines your character more than the situation itself. Friedrich Nietzsche: he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Anchoring your actions in purpose helps navigate even the most difficult interactions. Practical applications. In the workplace, transform disagreements into productive discussions. Recognize team members' emotional states and guide the conversation constructively. In personal life, use empathy and listening to resolve disputes with friends and family. Avoid letting pride or assumptions dictate responses. In social settings, observe social cues, adapt your approach, and maintain respect for diverse perspectives. Mastering conflict transforms stress into opportunity, tension into insight, and challenges into growth. Those who can navigate difficult situations with intelligence and grace stand apart as leaders of connection and influence. Chapter 6: Daily Habits and Systems for Social Intelligence. Turning knowledge into consistent practice. Understanding human behavior, mastering influence, building trust, and navigating conflict are all crucial skills. Yet, without consistent practice, knowledge remains theory. Social intelligence is cultivated through daily habits and deliberate systems, not occasional effort. As James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, emphasizes, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. The same principle applies to mastering human interaction. Small, deliberate actions repeated over time create profound change. Foundational habits for social mastery. 1. Daily reflection. At the end of each day, reflect on your interactions. Ask yourself, did I listen actively? Did I respond with empathy? How could I have approached a situation more effectively? Observational practice. Spend time observing people without judgment. Note behaviors, gestures, and emotional cues. Aristotle said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Observing others teaches us more about ourselves. Empathy exercises. Regularly put yourself in someone else's shoes. Daniel Goleman reminds us, empathy represents the foundation skill for all the social competencies important for work. Systems for growth. Structured social learning. Attend events, engage in discussions, and deliberately practice active listening and empathy. Feedback loops. Seek honest feedback from peers or mentors on your social interactions. Reflection plus feedback creates continuous improvement. Mindful interaction. Approach every conversation as an opportunity to understand, connect, and learn. Integrating philosophy and psychology. Viktor Frankl: when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. By adjusting our responses and habits, we cultivate mastery. Marcus Aurelius: waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. B1. Daily practice turns values into visible action. Confucius: the superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Consistency in small actions builds a reputation of social intelligence. Practical daily routine. 1. Morning. set intentions for empathy and awareness in interactions. 2. Throughout the day, observe, listen, and respond thoughtfully. 3. Evening, reflect on lessons learned and identify areas for improvement. 4. Weekly, engage in deeper social exercises, networking, volunteering, mentoring, to expand influence and understanding. By embedding these habits into daily life, social intelligence becomes automatic, not forced. Your understanding of human behavior evolves from theoretical knowledge into an intuitive skill that shapes every interaction. Chapter 7. Transformation, Integrating Knowledge, Habits, and Systems. Building a Life of Social Mastery. We have journeyed together through the hidden codes of human behavior, explored the depths of emotional intelligence, mastered influence, built trust, navigated conflict, and cultivated daily systems to strengthen social skills. Now comes the final step, integration. Knowledge alone is powerless without consistent practice, and practice without understanding is directionless. The power of integration. Mind plus emotion, harmonize rational thought with emotional awareness. Aristotle reminds us, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Social intelligence is the union of insight and empathy. Habits plus systems embed the principles into daily routines, allowing them to guide your interactions naturally. James Clear's wisdom echoes here: small habits make remarkable results. Action plus reflection, regularly assess your progress, refine your strategies, and embrace feedback. As Viktor Frankl said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. The ethical compass. True social mastery is not about manipulation or superficial charm. It is about authenticity, integrity, and service to others. Dale Carnegie noted, "You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming genuinely interested in other people than in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you." Ethics and empathy are inseparable from influence. Living the socially intelligent life. 1. Observe consciously, see the subtle patterns in behavior and emotion. 2. Respond thoughtfully, do not react impulsively, act with awareness. 3. Engage authentically, build connections rooted in trust, respect, and vulnerability. 4. Reflect consistently, use your experiences as a mirror for growth. 5. Evolve continuously, social intelligence is a lifelong journey, not a destination. The ultimate transformation. As Socrates wisely put it, the unexamined life is not worth living. Mastery of human behavior and social intelligence allows us to live examined lives, aware, intentional, and deeply connected. You are now equipped not just with knowledge, but with a framework, a system, and a mindset to navigate the social world with clarity and grace. The journey does not end here, it begins anew each day, each conversation, and each choice you make. Remember Nietzsche's words, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Your why is the desire to understand, connect, and grow. Let it guide every interaction, every habit, and every system you build. The hidden code is no longer hidden. It is now yours to live, practice, and share. Chapter 8. The Power of Compassion and Service. True social intelligence is inseparable from compassion and the desire to serve others. Understanding human behavior is not only about influence but also about uplifting those around us. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." By recognizing the struggles, joys, and needs of others, we develop empathy and build connections that transcend superficial interaction. St. Augustine reflected, "Love, and do what you will." Compassion must guide every action, for ethical and empathetic behavior strengthens social bonds. Mother Teresa demonstrated that even small acts of kindness create ripples that can transform communities. By serving others, we cultivate both our character and the invisible threads that connect humanity. Chapter 9. Resilience, Forgiveness, and Conflict Transformation. Social intelligence is most tested during adversity. Conflicts, injustice, and misunderstandings challenge our ability to respond with wisdom and grace. Nelson Mandela exemplified this truth: resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for your enemy to die. Mastery lies in choosing forgiveness, patience, and understanding, rather than reacting impulsively to provocation. Alexandra Solzhenitsyn reminds us that the battle line between good and evil runs through the heart of every human being. By examining our own biases and weaknesses, we can respond to conflict consciously, rather than repeating cycles of harm. Social intelligence, then, is both internal mastery and outward action, blending moral courage with strategic empathy. Chapter 10: Vision, Leadership, and Inspiring Others. Human connection reaches its highest expression in ethical leadership and inspiring others toward shared purpose. Great social intelligence inspires not by authority alone, but through vision, example, and integrity. Mahatma Gandhi said, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." Similarly, Mandela's leadership reflected a lifelong commitment to justice, reconciliation, and empowerment. Albert Schweitzer observed, "Example is not the main thing in influencing others. It is the only thing." True leaders demonstrate social intelligence by modeling empathy, courage, and ethical behavior. By embodying the values we cherish, honesty, compassion, resilience, we influence society positively and leave a legacy that transcends individual achievement. Conclusion: your journey to mastery. Congratulations! You have now journeyed through the hidden codes of human behavior, explored the depths of emotional intelligence, discovered the art of influence, learned to build trust, navigate conflict, and cultivate daily systems that elevate your social mastery. By taking the time to engage with these ideas, you have already taken the first step toward transforming your life. Remember, social intelligence is not a destination but a lifelong practice. Every interaction you have is an opportunity to grow, every conversation a chance to understand another human being more deeply. Daniel Goleman reminds us, in a very real sense we have two minds, one that thinks and one that feels. Mastery arises when you harmonize both, using awareness and empathy to guide your actions. By embracing curiosity, compassion, and reflection, you are not just learning, you are evolving. Abraham Maslow, in his work on human motivation, wrote, "What a man can be, he must be." This is your invitation to realize your highest potential, to act with integrity, and to connect authentically with the world around you. Every choice you make, every habit you form, and every system you build reinforces your growth. You are capable, insightful, and resilient. The knowledge you now possess equips you to navigate relationships, inspire others, and leave a meaningful impact on every community you touch. As you move forward, remember the power of small, consistent actions. Social intelligence, emotional mastery, and understanding human behavior are skills cultivated through practice, observation, and reflection. Stephen Covey reminds us, "I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions." So, continue to observe, listen, reflect, and act with empathy. Let every interaction be a step toward mastery, every conversation a seed of trust and understanding. Your journey has begun, and the possibilities are endless. You have done well by investing this time in yourself. You are insightful, capable, and ready to transform your relationships, your social skills, and your life.